Welcome to breakfast stream. We're gonna be eating breakfast. Um, waffles 2 days in a row. Well, found a channel gamozo.org. Yeah, that's me. But I just ate dinner. Peanut butter waffle. Fuck yeah. Does this still count as round? Yeah. Sucks to be me today. My e-bike was stolen? What? What? Holy shit. Where at? Like outside your house? Welcome to London. Nah, it's another shithole city. Are you sure you have to find O days in Windows NT 4.0? Or do the O days come flying at you? I don't know. It might be hard. It might be hard to find bugs. There might not be any bugs in NT. We have no reason to believe that there are bugs. There's no CVEs in Windows NT. It was cabled up to an iron fence outside the store I was in. Damn. Oh, that's brutal. Does NT have any exploit mitigations? No. I don't think it would even have stat cookies, to be honest. Damn, that really sucks. E-bikes are really getting popular here. They like actually look pretty fun. Not this version of NT. Yeah, stat cookies might be no. Yeah, were there stat cookies in VC98? This is before VC98, but I don't even think VC98 had stat cookies. NX wasn't a thing? Yeah, NX wasn't a thing until, I think 2003 is when OpenBSD did NX fully in software. They did it with TLB caching. OpenBSD was way ahead of its of stuff. Do you think Seattle is a good place to live for a software engineer? I mean, I live way outside Seattle, so I can't really speak to that. I personally just don't really like cities. You should handicap yourself and artificially impose stuff like SMAP and SMEP onto yourself. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna pretend that the entire thing... Well, you know what? I'm just gonna have to break out a KVM or a KMU. My first PC was NT 4.0. Got it at the age of 4. Couldn't even read a single word. So does that mean if you got NT 4 at 4, does that mean you got Windows 11 when you turned 11? How does stat cookies work? Basically, the compiler will, if there's like an array on the stack, I mean, it can be like literally on every stack if you configure it. But typically, if there's an array on the stack, what it will do is it will put all the arrays towards the front of this, well, at the end of the stack before the return address, and then they will put a stat cookie, like this magic number, this basically a random number on the stack before the return address, and before calling return, before returning from the function, it will check to make sure that the cookie has not been tampered with, such that if you overflow one of those buffers, you would have to overflow it with the correct cookie, otherwise it will not return. Pretty important. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. Gotta ask, are they form-fitting earbuds? These ones aren't, but I did order some. I literally have to go to an audiologist to have them, like, they inject, like, foam into your ear, and then they take a mold of your ear. I just haven't done that yet. I ordered them, like, a month ago, and I still haven't done that. I mean, they can't start making them until I've done that. But yeah, I got some, like, fancy custom molded in-ear monitors. Because I'm playing myself through these right now, so I can kind of hear my audio quality in real time, which is nice. Can we have a stream about Eufy and how to use it in OS? I've done plenty of Eufy streams. We've done a couple different OSs that were Eufy. We even did like an ARM64 OS that was Eufy. You wouldn't really use it in an OS though. I mean, you typically use it just in the bootloader. In the conventional terminology. You know, it kind of depends on your views. Oh, all right. How's everyone doing today? Everyone being responsible? Everyone excited to do some Windows NT 4 development? I just took a fat bong rip. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Wake and bake, baby. Let's go. We just went into lockdown again? What country or city? I'm eating some fajitas. Building an audio library for a mobile app. Ooh. Flutter? Flutter? I saw Flutter and Rust got some love recently. Some of the, like, FFI between the two. Of course. I had to make sure. Netherlands? The Netherlands? Flutter is underrated, yeah. Contact me when you have some time. I got an idea, gotta run past you. Oh, okay, sounds good to me. People rely on JavaScript too much? Question mark? Flutter is awesome. Oh no, we got a Flutter advocate here. We got Dev Angels, the world's biggest Flutter advocate. Flutter for life. Man, Dev Angels. Building a student application with Rust. What kind of, like a student project, or an application to build a student, or an application to like grade students? Is it for students or by students? I'm learning Flutter now. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, quick question. I'm learning C++. Recently, I read your panels. Would you discourage learning C or C++, and Go for Rust instead? I mean, ultimately, there's no problem learning C and C++, but they are ideally dying languages, but they're probably not dying languages. Unfortunately, after 50 years of writing in them, I think it's apparent that they're never going to be secure languages. So we just can't stop writing bugs in them. So it's time to move on. Now, whether or not people are going to move on, is kind of up in the air, but we kind of have to. What are we on? C++ 21, C++ 20. Yeah. Learn C++, be employed for life. Yeah. Yeah, tons of benefits for learning C++. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When are we doing a Flutter stream? But Rust. But Rust is the best language. Go's kind of nice, yeah. Yeah, Go's not terrible, you know. It's Python. It's Python for people who want a little bit more perf. Working on a ROP attack on a Cortex M bootloader. Ooh. Ooh. Doing some ROPage? You're telling me you have a bootloader that has enough mitigations that you actually have to ROP? I don't think I've ever had a bootloader where I had to ROP. It's just like everything's RWX. Go is at least typed Python. Why should C++ be dying? Because it is a language that is continuously pumping out security issues and bugs and being a problem for basically the entire software engineering world. It consistently is a complete mess. And there's really nothing we can do about it. You can add all of the safe abstractions you want, but that's not going to change the ecosystem and the way that people do development in C++. You can add all the safe features and all the auto pointers and all of the, magical stuff that you want. But you can't really enforce those things super well because you have to have backwards compatibility with 60s and 70s style programming, which was shit. It's unfortunate. Like, C++ isn't a terrible language conceptually. It's just a terrible language in its, ecosystem and its safety. A good compiler can fix and detect most of those? Nope, absolutely not. These are impossible to solve problems. You literally cannot solve these problems. Weird pancake you're eating? Are we a pancake or a waffle, chat? C++ template hell is also a problem? Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear that Binge is getting official Rust bindings? I've been using their Rust bindings for a while, but I didn't know they were making them official yet. Waffles are better than pancakes? Yeah. Yeah, waffles are literally pancakes with pockets for your condiments. Are you actively doing any research or mainly focusing on education? I mean, I've got contracts that I'm working. But I've got some research plans. But yeah, right now I've been more educational. Let's see. Do waffles have more surface area for toppings? Yeah, absolutely. They have more texture than pancakes as well. Yep. 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 No hat today? Yeah, I guess I forgot my hat, didn't I? When you say contracts, is it you contracting alone? Yeah. Did you start your book yet? Not yet. I haven't really gone through the process of officially confirming that. Are you an LLC? Yeah, I am. The stack is actually execute never. They start to get security in there. Mine? Oh no, that's no good. I don't like that. I don't like hearing about bootloaders with NX. Rust kernels also have unsafe blocks? Yeah, absolutely. The hat was a phase confirmed. Maybe I'm just lame, but I'll take the simple pancake over the fancy waffle with all of its features. Heathen. What time is it in your local time? I don't know. Almost noon, maybe? Something like that? Yeah, 11:30. Taking the simple pancake. Ugh. 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 Lay sigh. Debating pancakes and versus waffles when French toast exists? Ooh. French toast is good, but I don't think it's a substitute for pancakes or waffles. Are you a coiner? No. No. I'm not a fan in investing in things that literally only have value because other people hope that they have value so they get rich. Um I started dabbling with security bugs in Solidity. It's quite interesting. Interesting. What have you found so far? What's your learnings? Are you considering doing some browser fuzzing? I did a lot of browser fuzzing in the past. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't know. Never been a huge browser fan. Are you a dirty right clicker? I don't know. Isn't that like every investment? No, most investments are backed by companies that have assets and products. You're hoping that the company makes good decisions so that the company brings in more money. You're not hoping that there's just a massive a massive speculative wave that causes you to make money. You're not relying on speculation to make money. You're relying on a company having good ideas to make money. So what you're saying is that NFTs are the way to go. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is now an NFT stream. I get your point. Heavily invested in stocks too. Not saying it's wrong to like go for crypto because there's definitely a lot of money in crypto, but ultimately, I'm not super convinced. I don't like having all my money on the line of something with almost no intrinsic value or use. It's not wrong, but it is gambling. Yeah, absolutely. But stocks actually have no value except for dividends. Well, arguably, you have some percentage of ownership in the company, and depending on the PE ratio of the company, or whatever metric you like to go with, you at least have some value in the company, in the raw assets of the company. Do you think there are more Spectre and Meltdown bugs out there? Oh yeah, absolutely. Will we be employing Snapchat fuzzing at all for this project? Yeah, probably. Yeah, but the speculation of the price going up is the same. So there's a big difference. So when I say that like crypto is relying on speculation, I don't mean that you are speculating on the price. I'm saying that you are speculating on the speculation of the price to make your money, right? Bitcoin, I had Bitcoin way back in 2011, 2012. And Bitcoin was about as usable then as an actual currency as it is today. It just hasn't really gotten that much better. Of course, it's gotten better, but it's not gotten 1,000x better. It hasn't even gotten like 5x better in spendability and usability as a currency. So what you're hoping is that other people speculate on it so that your speculation makes money, right? It's basically a pyramid scheme. You're hoping that you're hoping that you got in sooner than the other suckers. That's kind of it, right? Of course, that exists in stocks as well. I mean, high PE ratio stocks are largely being traded on speculation, and you're speculating on speculation. But if you're talking low PE stocks, the price is pretty much just determined by the revenue of the company. Like, it just kind of is. Like, yeah, like a Tesla, yeah, they're trading on speculation of speculation of speculation. But like a fucking IBM, they're basically directly correlated with the price of the dollar and the last revenue. Like when like Dogecoin takes off because it's funny, it's pretty hard to make informed trades on those things because you're literally hoping that people treat it as a meme and then it turns into a thing. It's just like like other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, most cryptocurrencies are literally made by people who are mad that they missed out on Bitcoin. It's not people who genuinely are interested in making their coin useful or better or different. Of course, there are some people out there who are trying to do that. But most people, it's like, holy shit, I missed out on Bitcoin in 2012. I regret that. So I want to find a new coin that hopefully will be a Bitcoin. Not really my cup of tea, man. I really don't like the modern investing style. I mean, personally, I've gone on these rants before on stream that I don't think people should be investing. I think investing in other companies is stupid when you should be investing in yourself. You should be investing in education, those sorts of things. Like, talking tea, are you still drinking it the British way? I've been doing green tea recently, mainly because that's what my roommate does. I haven't had a black tea in a long time, and I don't do milk in green tea. I don't think anyone does, to be honest. I'm investing in education. Yeah, absolutely. Where's your hat, young Miles? I do need to grab my hat. I'm watching a dude eating a waffle. No, milk and green tea is yuck. Yeah, I agree. Green tea and honey? That's interesting. Silly question, chat. Do you guys think there is a certain point in life where you are too old to get into coding? Absolutely not. Nah. I mean, here's the thing. You know what? Strike It Up actually hit that pretty well. Strike It Up actually hit the nail on the head. I don't think the issue is largely with people who are older being able to learn these things in terms of like being able to learn these things. I think the problem is that when you're in your late teens and early 20s, when you're learning something that you're really passionate in, the amount of time you invest in that is often like 40, 60 hours a week because you are obsessed. You have nothing else going on in your life. You probably don't even care about relationships. You're literally just like, you are like addicted to the thing that you enjoy. And I think as people age, they rightly realize that there's a lot more to life than one specific hobby that they get really good at. And it's worth like having a diverse portfolio of being a good host, you know, having good friends, going out to things, maybe learning an instrument, learning a hobby with your hands, whether it's painting things or building things or woodworking or something like that, or learning something that's different or appreciating the smaller things like waking up and having a 2-hour morning where you slowly wake up and have some coffee or some tea or make some nice breakfast or make more meals instead of having Hungry Mans and microwaving all your meals. Like all of these things, I think people realize are more of a key to happiness than just like getting really good at something or investing in something. And I think it's very difficult to learn something when you've realized that putting all of your effort into something is not necessarily how you get the best reward, right? I care about relationships. I'm a database engineer. Investing bad, invest in yourself. But what if you have some money to spare and a house? And the way you can improve can't be done in the university? Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're not really who I'm trying to inform, right? When you're at the point where you have a house and all of the things that you've wanted to purchase and then you have extra money, well then at that point, like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But like, when you're a 22-year-old in your third year of college and you're trying to figure out if you should take the $2,000 that you somehow have in your bank account that specific like quarter or year, if you should take that and throw it all into Bitcoin and hope that it turns into 20 grand, or you should take that 2 grand and like, I don't know, fucking repair your car that hasn't worked in 6 months, right? Maybe repair your car. Like, TLDR. TLDR. Okay. What are your views on PhD in computer science? I mean, I kind of think that computer science is not the most academic field. And I don't know if that's all fields, and it's just because I know computer science pretty well. But, like, the papers that I read in CS just don't really seem that interesting. Like, it just doesn't feel like a really academic field. I mean, this is also seen by other fields who shit on computer science and don't believe it's actual research and stuff like that. Like, there's all the debates and stuff there. But it's students having 2K insane in my country. Yeah, like, you know, sometimes you got 2K when your, like, grandpa dies or something and gives you the money. I feel like more innovation takes place outside academia and CS than academia. Yeah. Academia, I feel like, carries the torch for a lot. Okay. I gotta blow my nose. Be right back. Okay. Here's the thing. And this is, this is tough because I'm not going to be talking about the actual value of things. I'm going to be talking about the perception of value of things, right? And the perception of value of things is what actually matters in society, not the actual value of things. So it doesn't necessarily matter if you think it's right or wrong. It's just kind of like how it is. Society pretty much doesn't give a fuck about scientific advancements in pretty much all fields. Like, they just don't give a shit. They benefit massively from them, but, like, when CERN goes after the Higgs, the first thing they get asked by anyone who isn't a scientist is, like, how the fuck is this worth doing? How are we gonna make money off of this? How is this worth investing in? And it's like, well, you might find some shit that changes the way that we get energy, and it's a massive thing. Like, that. Most science is treated like that. Computer science isn't. Computer science isn't like that. And I think this is why you see a large discrepancy between academia and industry, because academia basically has no money. Now, there are a couple academic things, like massive, large, like physics projects and chemistry and physical science projects that typically are like spearheading whatever their industry is. But in reality, computer science is this really fucking weird thing where, like, the average project probably has like, what, 5 or 10 grand of funding for a paper, and that's like, for a big company, a big company invested in tech, that's literally like noise. Like, they would just give an intern 5 grand to, like, investigate something. Like, it's the amount of, like, money that is being used in computer science research in academia is an absolute joke compared to the timelines and money and team sizes of companies. And the only reason this really matters is because companies see a value in computer science, right? So ultimately, and this is why I think this is why the companies are typically way ahead of academia, is that unlike most things in academia, where academics kind of get a step ahead because industry is not interested in these things, right? It's pretty easy to be better than industry when industry literally doesn't give a shit, right? When industry is not researching the thing you're researching, it's pretty easy to be ahead of them, right? But computer science is not like that. It's also, you can also think about it in profitability. The profitability of computer science is really, really, really up there, right? Have to disagree because academia is driven by curiosity versus industry is mostly driven by profit. Yeah, I think academia should be driven by curiosity, but it definitely isn't. Like, it just definitely isn't. Like, yeah, I wish that were the case, and I hope that is the case. That would be great, but I also kind of know that isn't the case. Yeah, I mean, like, look at like chemical science, right? Like people doing chemical science or physical science and stuff like that. They're not doing research on things that they think are the most interesting fucking chemicals with the most interesting properties. They're doing research on things that they hope will turn into a patent and turn them into fucking DuPont. Like, it just it's academia is driven by sharing stuff you find. I'd argue that academia is driven by putting your name on as many things as possible so that you get the most funding, so that you, hopefully, after 20 years of being in academia, can actually do things based on curiosity. Right? Right? Academia is driven by grants. Yeah. See, here's the thing. Yeah, you're gonna meet professors and you're gonna meet people who have become so fucking established in their fields that they're genuinely doing research that they're passionate and interested about. But like, for the first 10 or 20 years, you're probably trying to get your name on as many papers such that you become such a big name that people give you enough space to do what you want to do. Right? You're literally You're playing the game, which is chasing funding to chase for easy living because you're in academics, so you have no fucking money. So you're trying to get as much funding as you possibly can, such that hopefully at some point your name has enough recognition that you're just intrinsically worth money for your name, or you hope that you do something that gets bought out or makes you enough money that then you can actually focus on research that you care about. I wish that weren't the case, right? I hate that. I wish academia was like super focused on just learning and exploring things, but it's absolutely about appealing to the standard release cycles of conferences, right? How many people rush and button up their research when they're not happy or satisfied with it because it's the only way that they're going to apply to the conference they want to apply to, or because they have an artificial limitation of their funding is running out, or they have an artificial limitation because they have friends who they've commit to working on a paper with after this paper was done in October and now it's November. Like, it's just... I don't want that to be the case, man. Like, that's one of the reasons why I don't like academia, because I don't view it as genuine. I don't view it as genuine, right? I think a lot of it is talk, a lot of it is interest in research in these things, but it's not... I've talked with a lot of academics, and a lot of them just don't actually seem interested in the work. They seem interested in, like, changing the world. But that's the thing, and that's the thing that, like, is really interesting to me about my research, of, like, I'm not excited about finishing things. So that's why you see me, like, never finish projects, because I don't give a shit. Like, once I see the path, once it's obvious that, like, with an extra couple 100 hours of work, it just works because I've solved all the hard problems, I just don't really give a shit anymore. I'm not trying to, like, revolutionize or change the world. I'm just, like, interested in the process and the challenges. I can't say I really give a shit about the end result. Let's shit on the industry after that too. I think my favorite way to shit on the industry is that the difference between people making like 100K and the people making 500K is whether or not they have confidence. And the companies have no way of actually valuing these people. Like, they just have no fucking idea. Like, you know how many big tech companies would be happy to have, like, and a starting engineer making like 250K who has never touched like binary security in a binary security role. And then on the flip side, there's like people who have been doing CTFs for 4 years who are getting like 80K offers out of school. Because the big companies literally have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So it's literally just confidence. Like, the employer is hoping that you actually can teach them what they should pay you. You're telling me making them do 500 leak codes didn't estimate their value? Oh, well, what? Crazy. Ain't binary security the wrong term? Binary security is a data type. How are you going to secure that? Yeah, when are we getting some octal security and some decimal security and some hexadecimal security? Why did you leave Microsoft, if you don't mind me asking? I'm interviewing them for an L65 IC security role, and was wondering if it's the right move. Right? I really liked Microsoft. Microsoft was one of my favorite jobs. There is so much interesting shit to do at Microsoft, and they have, Microsoft has one of the few security teams that actually does binary security. Like a lot of people a lot of companies that are doing application security don't actually know what like application security. I guess I don't know if you're doing application security or not, but like a lot of companies doing application security think application security means like the Node.js running on the back end, and like I guess chat will probably disagree with me because I think the terminology of application security has changed enough where that probably is the case. But when I see application security, I think, okay, I'm working with native code that was probably compiled. But nowadays, people just like put application security in things because I think the recruiters literally don't know what it means. So, anyways, Microsoft is one of the few places that like genuinely knows what they're doing. You have a billion different products you have to secure. You have one of the largest cloud providers in the world. You definitely have the largest operating systems provider. One of the largest like hypervisors out there being Hyper-V. So you have like all of this different surface. And then also don't forget things like Xbox, which Xbox is traditionally one of like the harder consoles to hack into and break. And there's a lot of investment that goes on there, right? So I really like the work at Microsoft. There are a couple things that are strange, which is mainly their stock vesting schedule kind of pushes you to leave after 4 years, and that's mainly where I was at, right? And that's what most companies have. Like most companies, after 4 years, you're probably making less than you were in your first year, even though you maybe got a promo. And it's really stupid. It's kind of what all big tech companies do, and recently, I've been thinking that might be intentional by the companies to like force churn to just get burnt out people out. But anyways, Microsoft's cliff is traditionally quite a bit worse than other companies, right? Like it's pretty feasible that you get like, you know, like at a 65 roll, like 200 to 500K in stock over 4. So basically, let's say you're getting like 75 to 100K a year. You're probably refreshing that at a rate of like 30 to 40K a year, right? So, whereas at other companies, like someone brought up that Facebook is the same, and I know for a fact this is just not the case, right? Facebook definitely does have a cliff, and they have like a weird thing where you kind of stack for the first 4 years and then you cliff pretty hard. But ultimately, like, Facebook is going to refresh you probably at 2 or 2.5x the rate of a Microsoft. So the cliffs are brutal at Microsoft. And it's unfortunate. I brought this up at the company, right? This is not some secret juicy drama I have. It's a genuine problem that I think is preventing people from being there for more than 4 years. And it's very hard to have a long-term investment in something if the people keep turning at that rate. Is it intentional to cause rotation? That's genuinely, I never thought about that until a couple days ago, and I think that's the case. I think it's the case. I think it's the case to either A, cause people who are burnt out to leave and just go chase more money, and also cause people who are just willing to just take the pay cut or like whatever to stay. Like, there are people who just stay because they're like, well, this is just where I am. I don't want to physically move. I don't want to change school districts for my kids. I'm just going to stay. And now you're paying half the price for someone that you would pay a shit ton more for, right? It's kind of tough. Let's discuss the Amazon pay structure. Are you talking about their like 5-5-40-40 vesting schedule? Citadel Security paying $600K for new grads? Yeah, that sounds about right. So recognize the manager's refresh, and what are the meanings about that? I don't quite understand what you're asking there. You're pressured to leave in 2 years, and you get no money if so? At Amazon? Interesting. I've heard that Amazon is a relatively toxic place. I found that it's often pretty hard to figure out what my experience would be at a company because security teams are just usually a little bit more Wild Westy. And a lot of people who review companies and you see shitting on companies on like Blind are typically people who are software engineers, and software engineers sometimes just get fucked over with like ridiculous deadlines, shitty managers. Security traditionally is a little bit more researchy, and due to that, you typically have a little bit more leeway, and you typically don't really have like hard deadlines on stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I've heard that camera's out of focus. You're out of focus, BTW. Oh, got him. Oh. All right, any more rants that we have to do? What's going on with the FBI's email? What's going on with that? What's this? What is this? Could you rant about LVM and MIPS on Windows support? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Have you looked at CA leaked docs on gateway process? I don't think so. Are those recent? Are those like new things? Thank you for your insight into Microsoft. They seem like a solid company who takes security seriously. Stock refreshes aside. Yeah. They're like the pioneers in they're the pioneers in implementing mitigations, right? You can say that a lot of other places experiment with these things, and GRSec had it first. There's a big fucking difference between making the security mitigation and rolling it out to billions of devices as defaults. The fact that they do that is pretty fucking awesome, right? There's so many aspects of Microsoft security that's interesting. You have the raw bug finding. I wrote a snapshot fuzzer there, which, so people are doing snapshot fuzzing at Microsoft. They're fuzzing, you know, super low level network services. They're fuzzing kernels. They're fuzzing hypervisors. they've got a mitigation team that's working on crazy new mitigations for who knows what. Yeah, the refreshers are really the only problem there. In terms of the work and the things to do there, it's pretty good. Yep. So the NT kernel is good. What makes it good? A lot of the design. I think the main things, well, first of all, the documentation and the commenting is phenomenal. Unlike Linux, you'll probably never find a file that doesn't have comments. Like Linux, you can go into like some of the most core, fundamental, important parts of the system, and you won't find a single fucking comment. But like Windows stuff, you're gonna see so many comments that people almost don't like it. Because like each function will have a comment about why the function exists, all of the parameters, the return results, the ways it can fail, the different levels that you can call that function from. It's phenomenal. Is it the same kernel in Windows 11 and 10? Yeah, absolutely. Let me just jump to null. LVM on MIPS PEs. Yeah, it's kind of tragic. Let's rant about Windows 11 and how ugly it is. How worse the start menu got. I actually haven't run Windows 11 yet. I did just download a Windows 11 ISO that I was going to use for IDA. But I was like, fuck it. I'll get Windows 11 for this install. I'll try it. What are your thoughts on formal verification? VCC with Hyper-V. It's not quite fuzzing and security related. But it's adjacent to your work. Get IDA 7.5. Is that the backdoored one? Ghidra rules! Ghidra rules! IDA drools! What are your thoughts on formal verification? I don't know. I just don't really know enough about it. Ultimately, I don't think formal verification is going to be the solution to our problems. I've talked about this a little bit before. Ultimately, formal verification requires a higher level of skill and knowledge to use than what programmers have. And I would say it's probably like maybe the top 5% or top 1% of programmers could reasonably write their code in a way that could be formal verified, aka with all the annotations, and understand the coercion that needs to happen there for good verification to occur. Because there are limitations of verifying stuff, and you have to understand those limitations to kind of mold your program in the right shape such that it is simple enough for it to verify, right? And we simply just can't sustain the world on 1 or 5% of the developers that we have. Kind of sucks. Like that's the main problem is now you could argue that we're producing way more code than we need to produce, but isn't that the same argument against Rust that writing code satisfies borrow check requires a higher level of developers? Here's the thing. Pretty much every single language other than C, C++, and Rust wrap everything in arc mutexes. Like every fucking variable in your like C# or your JavaScript or whatever is probably essentially wrapped in an arc mutex. And if you wrap everything in an RC or wrap everything in a ref cell or wrap everything in an arc mutex, you don't have lifetimes. So ultimately, with the way people already care about performance and code, just fucking wrap everything in an arc ref cell or arc mutex, and it's already better performance than what you're probably already producing in whatever language you're writing. And congratulations, you don't have to worry about borrow checker anymore. Yeah, for really good Rust, really high performance Rust, where you want to do everything copyless, you want to do everything by reference, sure. But like fucking C++ makes copies of strings when you pass them to functions. Like people don't even know that shit is going on, right? Just wrap your shit in fucking RC ref cells. I'm gonna make fun of it because it looks like shit and the performance is terrible. But RC ref cells are basically free. Uncontended arc mutexes are pretty close to free. You basically paid like 12 cycles instead of 4 cycles, right? But then why bother using Rust? Because it's a safe language. Let's see. And for real world stuff, formal verification doesn't scale at all. Yep. Yep. Code is written by humans to read, and only incidentally for computers to execute. Yeah. Yeah. And you get the benefit of from all your code that isn't doing your criminal RC ref cell. Yeah. Like, look, I don't condone RC ref cell. I think it's a cheese way out of problems. But let's be honest, Rust written with RC ref cells is probably faster than what most people produce when they're writing C++, right? Maybe not C, but definitely C++. C++ is so fucking copy heavy, like, under the hood. It's so copy heavy. Just moving strings around. Like, I don't think people understand how many times they're copying a fucking standard string when they're writing C++. I know this because I've looked at, like, any C++ project, like, the fucking 10-20% of the CPU time is in, like, string functions. Like, literally, string copy and, like, string duplication. Yeah, I think the move by default is really the biggest thing for most developers in Rust land. You kind of have to like when you write an RC ref cell, you feel bad. You feel a little dirty about it. So you know. And let's be honest, 99% of borrow check shit is when people are trying to do stuff that's way more advanced than they would understand. Like in C and C++, here's the thing. And here's the real argument against borrow check. Don't get me wrong. Borrow check is an approximation of it is basically borrow check is failed closed, and since we haven't solved P equals NP, borrow check is going to yell at you for some things that are actually safe. In reality, 99% of the time where people run into borrow check, it's actually unsafe. Like, it's not actually some weird edge case where they're doing something that happens to be okay with the way that they've designed it and run it, and it's a complex data structure, and it just happens to work. No, it's probably legitimately wrong. Like, if they were to write that code in C, it's what they would have written, and that C code would have had bugs. Like, I am really skeptical that people are really running into borrow check because of things that aren't actual race conditions, safety concerns. Right? Does that make sense? Like, if you run into borrow check because you're doing something unsafely, that doesn't necessarily mean Rust is holding you back. Doesn't async borrow check suck ass? I don't know. To be honest, like, I'm still not super convinced on async yet. I'm sorry. I'm just not super convinced. I think async is a really bloaty way of expressing things that, like, I think the standard, like, KQ epoll style give a list of registered FDs and wait for events and get an index and handle it is, like, it's much lower overhead, and I guess it's not as convenient and nice, but yeah. Still have no idea what pin future took async. Yeah, standard async and stuff is. Do you like threading more? No. I like select an epoll, right? Which is you have a thread and you basically process events, right? You register your FDs that you want event notifications on, and you get event notifications and you handle them. Unfortunately, every single time I do something with async, the performance is just so fucking bad. Did you try IO U-ring yet? No, I mean, I know exactly what it does. I've used IO U-ring like things in the past. I think, before IO U-ring was a thing, there there were like a couple third-party ones that I used, and then also Windows has something like that as well. What is it called? Rio, registered IO, which is pretty nice. Are there things like async, built on top of the select and epoll things? Yeah, I mean, yeah, all of those things are built on top of those. Hidden from the user is not free though, right? Like, hiding things from the user is not free. I think the best implementation of async and await that I've used has been in C#. Yeah, you're just objectively right there. Async and await in C# is phenomenal. You should design async your way as an educational stream. Here's the problem with async. Async requires that you save and restore more state than is typically necessary, because you end up having to duplicate state in your tasks, right? Your tasks are doing relatively similar things, and you have to duplicate the state between them. And you're basically doing a context switch in userland, right? You're emulating a thread switch in userland, which is often unnecessary, right? When you're doing like KQ and epoll, you're only using the things that you really need to use for whatever case that you go down. You're not restoring the state of everything, because everything is already the active state. Your whole stack and heap or whatever contains all of the things that you care about. You don't have to like completely switch to a new state and discard the old, not discard, but set aside the old state to replace it with a new state. You just handle things, right? Because you just aren't swapping states in and out. Basically, async requires that you swap states in and out. You just have to. And swapping states in and out, in 99.9% of cases, isn't actually what you would be doing if you wrote them in like a big loop, right? In reality, you would just keep all of those states active, and you would just like, based on the FD that triggered, you would then use the variables that matter for which one. You wouldn't keep switching between them. That being said, Rust also has the hardest time with async and await, right? Rust is one of the first languages that actually has perf that's trying to do async and await. Like, C# and Go have a lot easier time doing their code routines and their async and await and stuff like that, because they're just slower languages. Like, when your language is like 50% slower, it turns out that your abstractions that make things 10 or 20% slower no longer really are the problem. Like, that's kind of hard. Like, when you're trying to make something with C and C++ performance that has async and await, it's gonna be fucking hard. It's just gonna be fucking hard. Anyone have profiler recommendations? Yeah, I recommend that you don't use profilers. I think profilers are really misleading. Like, I understand compilers and assembly and performance and optimization really well, and the amount of times I've gotten meaningful information out of profilers is like fucking almost never. Profilers just suck, man. I'm just not convinced. I'm really not convinced. Like, ultimately, here's the problem with profilers. Profilers tell you where your time is being spent, not if that time should be spent, right? So if you look at a profiler and you're smooth brain because you're Twitch chat, and you're like, and you see like, oh, it looks like 40% of my time is spent in my rendering thread. That sounds reasonable. Well, what if you should have like 0.1% of your time in your rendering thread? The profiler isn't telling you that. Like, that's kind of the main problem with profilers, is they don't really tell you if you've architected your stuff reasonably. Like, I don't know. And even then, just with inlining and stuff, profilers often don't even tell you where things are actually using time. Like, they either aren't sampling enough such that your N is so low that you can't actually see where things are being used, or it's limitations of the architecture where you're trying to look at what instructions are slowing you down, but due to the way the architecture works, you're actually highlighting like a couple of instructions off of where the problem is, or you're trying to figure out why something is slow, but it's actually slow because of a branch misprediction, which makes it look like it's due to like a random conditional compare, and the conditional compare is not related to the branch. The reason the conditional compare is the slow part of your code is because that's where the processor just happens to be coincidentally aborting and resetting the CPU state back to the branch, mispredicted branch, right? Because your CPU is running like 50 to 150 instructions past where it fucked up. So if your CPU predicted a branch is taken some way, or predicted a memory accesses went another way, it's gonna be like 50 or 100 instructions ahead of where you were, and that's where it's going to show up that your hotspot is. Which is just gonna be like in the middle of fucking nowhere. Right? It's just like, okay. I think your dislike for profilers is due to your very specific approach to writing software. If you come up to a large project and ask where the fuck does it spend 50% of the CPU, then it's a good tool. That's probably true. Like, when you're looking at the assembly level, profilers suck. They just suck because they're not really showing you where you're actually slow, and they're also probably not sampling well. And then there's also, like, interrupt window biases. Like, your processor is more prone to issue an interrupt during certain stages of pipeline execution, which is then going to cause you to, like, get interrupts on certain boundaries, so you're not necessarily going to see, like, where your costs are. And then due to inlining, I would even expand that to, like, the small function level, like, functions that are, like, 30 to 50 lines of code, or, like, few loops or few if statements, things that will get easily inlined. You just kind of don't really know where anything is in your code. To be honest, let's raise our hands, chat. Okay, let's raise our hands. All right, so everyone with their hands raised has agreed that it is ridiculous that debug information doesn't contain enough information about inlining that debuggers are fucking usable on code that has been optimized. Like, how hard is that? Like, during your optimization passes, update your debug info based on what's fucking inlined. Like, come on. Windows tries to do this in PDBs. I thought we solved that by now. Yeah, you know how Linux solved that, or you know how, like, the entire Unix ecosystem solved that? Is they invented the -OG optimization path, which is like optimize everything except for homing things on the stack and inlining, because that hurts readability. Windows went the other way, and they're like, we're gonna try and add enough information so we can tell you where things are inlined, and it kind of works. Kind of. Like, inline stuff gets moved around a lot, though. Yeah, but you can track that. You can still track that. What's the solution in the end? Write your compilers about 5 times slower and just have a little bit more attention to detail of keeping those things updated. In reality, it's just how development goes. You got a little bit too rushed, you got a little bit ahead of things, and then before you know it, you're like, fuck, we're not going to implement that feature because at this point there's too much code cruft there and it'd be really hard to do. How is the Windows compiler versus GCC versus Clang? GCC is fast and loose. Clang is compiler exceptions. When I say compiler exceptions, I mean that anything you build with Clang is probably going to cause Clang to crash. And Visual Studio is just mediocre. Not great features, not great modern C++ support, not great optimizations, but it kind of just works. PDBs, however? PDBs are much better than Dwarf. like Clang plus LDB properly show inline functions on their args? I haven't used LLDB in like 2 years, and 2 years ago it didn't work. Have you seen Perret? High order typed functional choreographies. Yeah, this looks above my pay grade. But wait, have I seen this? No, I don't think so. No, I haven't seen this. This is some. It immediately just has some squiggly lines and math and set theory. I can't. You think I know that shit? Yesterday I couldn't subtract 2 numbers that were 2 digits. I wish they would put dwarf outside the executables like PDBs. You can do that. You can do that. Strip debug or whatever, or like separate debug or whatever. You can totally do that. That's what like every operating system in the world does. Every distro. You can totally do that. However, the support by tools that consume those is usually pretty shit. Squiggly lines, Gamosa's one weakness. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I'm working on Ant's profiler. Oh, God. Ugh. Chat, did I tell you that the reason I started the stream an hour late is because I was up way too late last night? Time to do actual work? Yeah, I think we're getting there. I think I'm getting there. I still have like a couple sorenesses that I really want to get out. Like my shoulders are pretty fucked up. Why were you up so late? What crazy drugs did you do? What do you mean? What do you mean? Yoga stream? Oh. I had a good friend in World of Warcraft that I met, and she was trying to get me into yogaing stuff. So we do like yoga and shit between like dungeons. Hot tub time? Ooh, yeah. It's actually hot tubs. I gotta replace the water in my hot tub. I haven't replaced it in like 3 months. Wow, yoga. iPet Detective, thank you so much for the 3 months of support. Hell yeah. Actually, what you're referring to as Gamozo is actually GNU/Zo, or as I like to call it, Gamo plus Zo. Yeah, that was a good shit post, wasn't it? Today, we're getting a good development environment set up for fuzzing Windows NT. We're mainly focusing on QOL such that tomorrow when we do education on fuzzing that we don't waste all of our time doing stupid shit like the last week. XD, lol, 1, 2, 3, 420. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Chat, raise your hand if you're ready to party. Lower your hand if you're EU. Yeah, because EU people can't party. All right. Got him. Oh, I gotta make my EU trip soon-ish. You know what? You know what's really unfortunate is I took like 3 months off of work and my plan was to like travel and shit. And I did a little bit of travel in the US, but still borders are kind of fucked. I tried to visit Moose Mounted Mage and fucked him over. He drove like 50 hours to meet us, and then we just couldn't get into Canada. Come visit XEU. Oh yeah, this bit is XEU. Woo. Yeah, Sag. I owe Dev Angels like 5,000 beers. Although I don't know if I want to go to the UK in the winter. I owe Dev Angels some Dr. Pepper and some PG tips and dark themes for Windows XP. UK has seasons? Yeah, cold and rainy and slightly less cold and rainy. Slightly. Emphasis on the slightly. Gray and rain and 2 weeks of sun. Cold and miserable, cold and okay. All right. Okay. So, today we're gonna do some reading. And by reading, we're not really gonna do reading. I'm gonna get you brushed up to date on some cool shit. Okay. Okay, chat. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready to get naked? 'Cause we're gonna talk about naked functions. All right. Finally, seatbelt fasten. Let's go. Yep. There's a different camera angle on the OnlyFans. Frick. Okay. Frick is so good. I just fucking love Frick. Every time I read Frick, I see Milton T. Pike had like a GTA 5 roleplay character that was like the embodiment, the like stereotypical nerd, and he'd be like, Frick! And he'd like challenge you to like D20 rolls to like fight you. Like if he got in a fight, he's like, take this D20! Oh, Milton T. Pike is phenomenal. Okay, anyways. Have you ever seen Microsoft source code without being at Microsoft? No. No. Now there was what was it? NT 4 leak and a Windows 2000 leak that were public, right? And those go way back to like 2005, I think. Oh, so XP leaked. Really? Maybe that's the one. Maybe it was XP and not 2000. I thought it was 2000. I can't fucking remember. Your lawyer is telling you to stop talking? Yeah, the weather's great. XP not that long ago. Really? Like, what do you mean not that, like, in the past couple of years? To be honest, I probably saw it and didn't pay attention because at that point I had Microsoft source code at Microsoft. I don't know. It was leaked last year. What? And that is DOS. Oh my god, what? Why are we not fuzzing MS-DOS? Are you looking for which type of bug? Yes. Yes. Okay. So naked functions in Rust are going through some improvements. And the improvements that naked functions are okay, let's I mean, today's not an educational day, but you know, fuck you. You're gonna get educated. Holy moly, MS-DOS is 100% ASM, so it should be super fast. That's not how assembly works. That's not how assembly works. I hate to say it, it's just not how assembly works. I've seen Dev Angel's assembly, and it definitely didn't help his perf. Oh! Whoa! Got him. Okay, Kurt has a beautiful startup graphic. I see Nikaretnikov is a fellow furry there. All right, chat. Raise your hand if you're not a furry, but you kind of like furry art. Like just the art styles. Absolute degenerates. Yeah. Command OnlyFans. Draw me like one of your furry friends. Okay. So, in languages, you have these concept of naked functions. And naked functions basically have the goal of being used for common things like interrupt handlers, and let's just say exotic function calls. So naked functions are often important where you need to know specifically the state of input registers is unchanged. So basically, you need to make sure that the compiler isn't like emitting a stack cookie or a frame setup or homing something to the stack. You want to make sure that you have kind of full control of everything. Naked functions, the best way to think of naked functions is if you've written some assembly, naked functions ideally functions should really, at the end of the day, basically just be assembly labels for code, right? Basically, the ideal thing for naked functions is that basically you're just assigning an exported label or a symbol to code, and other than that, like, it's not like a normal function, and then inside of here you have assembly that you fully control, and you know that this is the first instruction that ran. Did you do one fuzz? No, I didn't do one fuzz. I do know the person who did one fuzz, and my tool got integrated into one fuzz, but it's just not really my cup of tea. I'm not really a CI fuzzer. You'll see that sometimes I maybe make fun of CI fuzzing. Okay. All right. So the problem with naked functions is they kind of originate in C and C++, right? C and C++ are kind of the pioneers of naked functions. And do you know what that means? Do you know what it means when C and C++ are pioneers of something? What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? It means that they are extremely undefined. Yeah. So you'll find that basically nobody who does OS dev actually uses naked functions because they just like don't actually mean anything. The naked functions is usually like it's a little less overhead than a function, but like I don't know how much less it is. Yeah. So then we have a language called Rust, right? And Rust, and what does Rust do, chat? What does Rust do? What does Rust do? Let's go in. What does Rust do? Okay. Okay, and what does Rust do? So Rust defines things, Rust is defined and not stupid. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I think he likes Rust, but that's just my guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Rust. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Rust has started going through this process that actually is like almost going through. And let's go through. He would be a great teacher. It's a UI designer stream? Wrong stream, I guess. Yeah, Rust. 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 Okay, so this document attempts to increase the utility of naked functions by constraining their use and increasing their defined invariance. Motivation. Naked functions have long been a feature of compilers. These functions are typically defined as normal functions in every regard, except the compiler does not omit the function prologue and epilogue. Rust's early attempts to support this feature, RFC 1201, mostly copied the existing compiler behaviors. However, naked functions are often avoided in practice because their behavior is not well defined. The root cause of this problem is that naked functions are defined by negation. They are functions which lack a prologue and epilogue. Unfortunately, functions that lack a prologue and epilogue present a number of complicated problems that the compiler needs to solve and developers need to work around. And there is a long history of compilers and developers getting this wrong. This document seeks to define naked functions in a much more constrained, positivistic way. In doing so, naked functions can become more useful. Oh yeah, let me porn up this mic a bit. Test. Okay. Test. Check. 1, 2. Okay. Check. Okay. Naked function definition. A naked function has a defined calling convention and a body which contains only assembly code which can rely upon the detailed calling convention. Today on NPR News, we're going to be talking about all of the perfect places for programmatic functions and uses of naked functions. A naked function is defined by the naked attribute and 1. Should specify a calling convention besides extern Rust. Number 2, should define only FFI safe arguments and return types. Number 3, must not specify the inline or inline star attribute. And 4, must have a body which contains a single assembly statement, which 1, may be wrapped in an unsafe block. 2, must not contain any operands except for const and sim. 3, must contain the no return option. 4, must not contain any other options except AT&T syntax, the wrong syntax. And 5, must ensure that the calling convention is followed or the function is unsafe. MT Taggart, thank you so much for the raid. Hell yeah, how was your stream? Taggart raid, hell yeah. Naked function already liking the stream. Yup. Please tell me more about naked function bodies. Okay, anyways, these constraints are really cool. Basically, they're saying that naked function should just directly give you assembly code execution, right? And that's fantastic. In exchange for the above constraints, the compiler commits to producing a clear error if any of the above requirements is violated, produce a clear warning if any of the above suggestions are not heeded, disable the unused argument lint for the function, never inline the function, omit no additional instructions to the function body before the ASM statement. So this is really cool. Basically, they are saying that these new constrained naked functions in Rust can only contain an assembly block, and this means that you immediately get execution in your assembly. the first instruction that executes in the function is your first instruction in the assembly statement, which thus means that you have perfect control of everything. Further, it is no return, and since it's no return, that means you have to return from your inline assembly yourself. So when you compound that all together, it means that you control every single line of assembly in the function, which is really, really, really cool. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. As a weaker corollary to the last compiler commitment, the initial state of all registers in the assembly statement conform to the specified calling convention. Someone was asking something, why can't you inline? The reason you can't inline is that if this is the case, if you can't access any of the parameters to the function, then you have to know where the parameters are, which means that there has to be an ABI, which means that the function has to have been called. If it gets inlined, that ABI can be violated, right? So it is critical that the function actually gets called such that it respects the ABI fully. Late to the party? Hell yeah. Is this for perf? Or like, where do we want to use this? We want to use this for our syscall funcs. We want to use this where basically we want to ensure the state of registers matches exactly what we need them to be for when we call into the kernel. This basically should replace all of the uses of global assembly. You should no longer ever have to use global assembly because this is basically a labeled assembly block. That's just it. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you can do stuff like this, where basically this is the first line of code. You know that this is the function that gets emit, and it's really cool. But basically, yeah. All right. Yeah, and they're also talking about adding extern custom calling convention, where you can like define arbitrary custom calling conventions, which would be really cool. Really fucking cool, because then you could do extern custom and say that the syscall argument goes in the syscall register, and then your function is just syscall. Can we please have some background noise? Nah, it's too hard to do that, unfortunately. AT&T syntax is the backwards one? Yeah, AT&T syntax is definitely the backwards one. Have you seen the ABI stable crate? Probably not, because it's a crate. Probably dumb. ABI stable. C and C++ split by compiler? Hell yeah. What is this? For Rust to Rust FFI? Yeah, this doesn't look important. I'm not gonna use a crate. Come on. Crates mean bad perf. Assembly is on track to be stabilized? Yes, it is. And Rust assembly is the best assembly. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off the day. With booting our VM. Okay? Is everyone ready? Is everyone ready to boot our VM? So we're going to go into NT and then QEMU and then hopefully run.sh. All right. Okay, we're getting in there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're probably going to write a way that we can have basically a remote shell so we don't have to interact with Windows. And I think the best way for us to do that is probably to open a port and listen for connections and then spawn processes. This EU has to sleep. I'll take it you'll be still here in 10 hours? Probably not. 10 hours, that's a long stream. That's just not what we would do here. We just don't stream that long. HW and then hello world.c. Okay. Is there a SAC serial console on NT 4.0? No. I don't even think ACPI existed yet. All right. So this is going to connect out. And I think what I want to do is also have a connect in. Not EU friendly stream. It's fucked up that the world isn't flat. Well, fuck the EU. Yeah. Fuck the EU. Damn communists. With things like workers' rights, healthcare. Yeah, gross. Was the EU ever done for us? Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. The EU makes for a fantastic place to have wars not on your soil. Yeah. Okay, so I need to figure out how to port forward in Kimu. Does anyone know? The syntax is disgusting, if I remember correctly. Kimu user net nick. Don't forget selling weapons to both sides. Number 1. Yeah, I mean, what did we do for like the first 3 years of World War II? Everyone else was spending money and dying, and we were just selling everyone guns. The US was just chilling there until Pearl Harbor, where it's just like, yeah, we don't want to get involved. We'll just, yeah, just buy our guns, man. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yep, I can confirm that polling hosting best the worst. Holy shit. This is so dark, but kind of true. Jesus. This. Simplest way to forward specific host port to guest port 22. Okay. So, yep. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We had Germany one side of the mountain and British on another, mining. Oh, World War II. What a time to be alive. A short time to be alive. If you're 18. Woo! 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 Fighting for people we don't give a shit about. Woo! Woo! NetDev user. NT Kimu. Okay. Wow. Was it okay with that? Okay, what port do we want to run? Chat, vote for the port. Vote for the port. 69. Can't use 69, can you? That's DNS, DHCP. 8086. 42069. Is Windows gonna support 42069, or is it gonna get mad because that's an ephemeral port? Okay, so theoretically, Windows will get mad 100%. 1776. Woo! Whoop. All right, chat, what is the first thing that we need to do? What is the very first thing we need to do if we want to compile code on Windows NT? And let's get some slappers going. What are we gonna listen to today? Fix the date. Yup, set the clock. Yup. Play a slapper. I did the T Swift album yesterday, the new one, Taylor's version of Red. What a fantastic one. Mariah Carey? Honestly, Mariah Carey is fantastic. 32 minutes of soothing, relaxing, meditating World War II sounds. Is this real? Is this fucking real? If this is fucking real, oh my god, please be real. Please be real. Okay, it's real. Yeah. Oh my fucking god, this is fantastic. These relaxing sounds will convince your grampy is back in the war. Oh, this is so fucked up. Oh my god. Fuzzing at a front line. World War II ASMR. Alright, ASMR actually works on me. I found that out in middle school when I had a crush that would whisper in my ear. Oh my fucking... Oh. Oh wow, it really got going. Oh, those are just straight up automatic gunshots. Oh god. Map no. Yeah, the shit exploding. Yeah, it started off very soothing. Now it's not very soothing. There's constant machine guns, mortars going off. Oh my god, this is not relaxing or soothing. It's really... This does not sound very relaxed. Okay, we're gonna go into... what are we gonna name this project? Nuts.txt. We're gonna call this project Nikito 97. Okay. So this project is not gonna work. That's okay. We're setting ourselves up for a nice failure. Nikito 97 97.c. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that sounds good. Let's put on some Christian rock. Fuck yeah. Oh, I weaponized so many bugs to this album. Oh my god. Oh, fuck yeah. There are some unironically good Christian rock bands. They're kind of all good. Christian rock is fucking phenomenal. But what band? This is Fireflight, The Healing of Harm's album. It's got a really cool album art too. What music player? NC Spot, because it's written in Rust and it's the only language that's worth using. You know how there's like GNU? Or the GPL license, the cancer's GPL license that forces everything to be GPL. I'm gonna write the RPL license, the Rust public license, and basically it will pollute all code bases and require that they're written in Rust. Let's do that now. Yeah, introducing RPL2, my new programming license. It is just like GPL, but instead of forcing open source, it forces use of Rust. All projects, all source included and added must be Rust. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. I came back and we're using VC4. I don't remember this shitty thing. Look at that syntax highlighting or loss of. What? We got highlighting of keywords. We got highlighting of comments. What more can you want? VC, this is, I'm sorry, this is actually VC 4.1. This seems like syntax highlighting most editors have by default. Pistol sounds 0 when you're typing. IR arm workbench is not better. I mean, let's be honest. The embedded IDE world is really bad. The world that people like people doing embedded development. Holy shit, those tools are so bad. Name a VS Code theme. This is gotta download the Texas Instruments IDE. This has no IntelliSense. Yeah, but this has debug. Look at all these features. You have this. You have this drop down up here so you can select. Wait, what is this? Oh, is this the search for documentation? Oh, this is actually really nice. I didn't know that. Not device IO control. Let's just look for create file. Okay, that's not great. Okay, so if I click on this text box and then hit Control A, it highlights all of the it highlights the source file. VS 2025 is out. Yeah, this is the future right here. What happens if you hit delete now? Oh my god! Wait! What? Okay. Control A, delete. What? Wait, what? How did it? I have no idea. Still better than VS 2019. I think the worst Visual Studio was like, was it 2015? Was it 2015 that had like a 2-hour install process? And then they released 2019 or 2018 or 2017, and they had a feature of that they sped up the install, and now instead of 2 hours, it took like fucking 30 minutes. Yeah, now 1 hour faster. Oh, sick. Oh, super valuable. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't use my scroll wheel. So developing in this environment sucks. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to bind to 42069. And then we're going to bind to ZZZZ. At least VS 2022 is 60. Ooh, really? It's 64-bit. Yay, now it can leak memory even more. Now instead of leaking up to 3 gigs, it can leak up to all of your gigs. Woo! Okay. So let's see here. All we want to do is Pog. Why settle for 3? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go down here. I used VS 2022 on a large project, and it's shockingly working pretty well. Oh! Have they ported it all to Electron yet? So it's shit? Okay. Now we're gonna do a listen, sock, I don't know, 5? If this... Napalm, do you remember how many people, like, you taught how to basically use the Berkeley Sockets API? Because I'm pretty sure that was like 99% of the programming questions that would come up is like, how to socket? How do you connect? And let's tile these. Let's go horizontally. Okay. What does this do? Is this a socket error? Yeah, this is socket error. Okay, if this is equal to socket error, then fprintf standard error, listen error %d, wsay get last error, return -1. Okay, this should have a new line. Spawn a command and pipe standard in and out to the socket. Job done. Yeah. See, I want to integrate this into my Rust build system. Okay, I think I just need sock, WSA data, and socketer. And here's what I'm going to do. This is going to listen for connections. So hopefully this is like already roughly what we want. Ito 97. Notepad makefile. No, I don't want to make makefile.txt. I want to make makefile, you fucking... Okay, CL, Nick Ito 97.c. Okay. Makefile. There we go. Okay, and make. That's not what I told you to do! Oh my god. I spelt it wrong. Okay, first try. What? When I Control S, it saves it as a different file, doesn't it? What? Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Rightly fuck off. We've never tried 1982. Let's see if 1982 works. Yeah, 1982 is just fine. Okay, wsock32.lib? Oh, I can't use... Oh, fuck. Oh, no. This VM's gone. Shit. Can I Alt-Tab inside of here? Shift-Tab, Control-Tab, Shift-Alt-Tab? Oh, how do I... I think I saved the file. I think I saved the file so we can at least build this. Yes. Okay, and now we have to reboot. Why reboot? Because the mouse doesn't work. It just does that sometimes. Let me see if I can put the camera on like face prio or some shit. Let me try and solve this camera. I don't see anything. Well, it's a Microsoft product. Sometimes it breaks. What are you talking about? Why did changing the date work? Okay, I think it's written everything to disk. If it hasn't written everything to disk, then we completely corrupted this. Bow. This is a long shutdown. You're a long shutdown. Okay, I put the mic a little further away. Hopefully this is fine. Okay. Why am I getting decoloned? What VM are you running this on? Kimu. Okay, and then all files, and then make file. Okay, do you think there's support for wall? Do you think there's wall support? God, fuck your name, Nikito. What do you think the highest level of W is? Okay. Pragma push. Pragma warning push 0. Pragma warning pop. I think that's right. bitch. Pragma. Pragma balls. Disable. Don't issue specified warnings. Oh, this. I see. Okay, I just don't think that pragma exists yet. I think that might just not exist. Okay, we're just gonna not use warnings. Oh, we lost the mouse again. Son of a bitch. Can we recover it? We've never recovered from this. I found it, virtual assistant. What is this? Gives mouse scrolling. Unfortunately. Oh, wait, I got my mouse back. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work for us, Dev Angels. I've got really bad news for you. I got really bad news. MIPS, yeah. Yeah, we basically have to write all of our software for ourselves. Okay, for socket client is equal to accept sock null. I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I've written this shit. Yeah, null. Printf got client new line. Piece of shit. Oh, there goes the mouse. Shit. Remember, you don't have C99? That's fine, because I'm in a new scope. Oh, come on! How do I... Full screen? Control-Alt-F. Okay, that didn't do it either. God damn it! It's fine. It's fine. I think all of the windows are in the right shapes. So we can do this. Oh no, we need to be able to get to that window. How do we switch windows in here? Oh, we can do like Alt W. Let's just do this. Oh, is it like Alt 1, 2? Okay, W2, W3. Okay. We got this. We recovered. Oh god. Why is there a connect? When did I add a connect? Why is there a connect in here? We want listen and accept. Is that because it's an ephemeral port, or did we not do it right? Let's try 420. Oh, I didn't bind. That's what it was. Yeah, I haven't done bind yet. Bind, sock. Alt W. Alt W. 3, yeah. Okay. Bam. Okay. That's actually exactly what I expected it was gonna be. Alt 1, this. Bind, sock adder, size of sock adder. If this is equal to socket error. Okay, apparently escape closes the window that I'm not on. Okay, that's good. Cool, nice, okay. Yay! Okay. And then this we'll just say struct socketer. We'll say construct socketer to be really nice. I hope NT doesn't have a firewall. It does. It's just not on by default. Okay, so we are now listening. Oh, and we can probably put it to 42069 again. 42069, let's go, let's go! Masterpiece. Hey! Woo! Woo! Okay. Got client. And then we can do close client. Is it close or is it close socket? Tile it vertical, yeah. I can't tile it vertical because I think it's gonna be too narrow with this font size. Yeah, it's a little squishy. I really want to close makefile, but hitting escape just closes a random window, apparently. And I think Alt F4 will close everything, is my guess. I'm guessing Alt F4 will close everything. Control F4? Oh, thank you. You're right. Control F4. All right. Nice. Okay, so now we can do this. Now we can do H, search, close. Because there is a close socket, but there's also a close. I don't know which one they recommend. Probably close socket. That's one of the things that's different about the Windows API is you use closed socket instead. Yep, that looks good. And that returns socket error. I think close would also work here, but I want to close socket because we need to actually close that handle. And now we shouldn't worry about leaks or anything. We should be able to run this basically indefinitely. Got clients, and honestly, I think we're gonna do a shutdown as well. Oh, Jesus. Okay, H. Okay, shutdown. And then how? How? If how is 0, if how is 1, a fin will be sent. Setting how to 2. I like how there aren't constants. There aren't constants. Wow. 2 disables both sends and receives as described previously. For EDP, they're accepted and queued. In no case will an ICMP error packet be generated. 2 is both sends and receives. I don't know how my control or shift or something is stuck. I can't get out of this. I am stuck. I'm stuck. Hey, there we go. Okay. 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 It was the mouse button was like stuck down. You have constants, they're defined in another header. Okay, that's not... Oh, did I built it. What? And let me turn off... Shouldn't that be finning me? Shouldn't that be killing the connection? Shouldn't that be closing it? I'll read the docs. Whoops, that's not what I want. I thought 2 was sends and receives, as described previously. For TCP sockets, fin will be sent. So I'd imagine that for 2, a fin will also be sent. Oh, I wonder if it's Kimu. I wonder if it's Kimu doing this. Well, we'll try 1, because a 1 explicitly says fin is sent. And I would expect fin to be sent with a closed socket anyways. Well, let's try it. Yeah. Is it Kimu then? I guess it's Kimu. Well, we probably don't need shutdown then, to be honest. Yeah, we'll just do shutdown. We'll do it anyways. Fuck it. I ain't scared. Do you need to flush? Shutdown does not close the socket or resources attached. I think closed socket should fit anyways. If SO linger is set with a non-zero timeout, it blocks until the remaining data is sent or timeout expires to graceful disconnect. Oh. Don't linger is graceful. Wait for close, no. Yeah, do I have to set that? SO linger and SO don't linger. Is don't linger default or do I have to set that? Set sock ops? We'll try it. Windows timeouts are massive. Yes, they are. We'll try, client link, level is, sol sockets. SO linger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to let it linger? Pointer to the buffer, okay, and then let's see what these are. If it's linger, we have a struct linger. Controls action taken when unsent data is queued on a socket and closed socket is performed. The application sets the desired behavior by creating a linger structure with the following elements. On, off. To enable it, it should set on, off to a non-zero value and set L linger to 0 or the desired timeout. I'm guessing 0 is... To enable don't linger, that should be set to 0, and that should be called... By default, a socket cannot be bound to an address in use. Yeah, that's reuse. Okay, we can try it. We can try it. L on off is 1. Linger.L linger is equal to, I'm guessing 0 is an infinite timeout. Right? Missing a paren too. I'm not trying to get a reverse shell. I'm just trying to get a better environment. Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's it. I think it's supposed to be closing it, and I think Keem was keeping it open. Yeah, I don't think we need this. Okay. So then what we're gonna do is create process. Okay. It's been a while since I've called create process. Application name, command line string. and then a bunch of nulls. So we're gonna do d:/HW hello world.exe hello world.exe. I can't remember if command line needs to include that. Null, inherit handles, false. Creation flags, we'll figure those out. Don't care about environment, don't care about current directory, don't care about startup info, don't care about process info. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, flags. Let's see what we want here. Oops. Application name command line. Null terminated, that specifies the command line to execute. It can be null. In that case, it uses the string. Okay, sweet. So that can be null. To inherit handles, set that to false. Create new console. I think we might actually want create new console. Debug. Detach process. The new process doesn't have access to the console of the parent process. I can call alloc console. Okay. We'll just do I think create new console. That sounds good. I think that should be sufficient. What do you mean? What do you mean different from int? Oh, W. Okay. So then hopefully this will spawn okay, so one of these can't be null. Okay, good to know, good to know. Application name. Yep, we gave it that. Okay, and then, command line. If it's null, yep, that's fine. Security attributes, that can be null. Thread attributes, that can be null. Inherit handles, that's false. Create new console, that's fine. Environment, if it's null, it uses the current environment. Current directory, if it's null, current drive. Startup info. Oh, do I need startup info? And process information? Do I really need those? That's dumb. Startup info is an out. I don't think it is. Process info is out, but startup info is not. Does system not exist? I don't wanna do system. I wanna make a new process. There's a big difference. Big diff. Okay, so we'll do SI startup info, and then we'll do PI process info. Okay. Startup info SI, and then process information PI. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. It'd be cool if it did, but it shouldn't. Oh, that worked. Sick. Okay. So basically we can knock on this. We can knock on this port to execute our program, right? So that means that then we can run our, what's our program called? MIPS test. Self serve. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it out dot? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Did I use 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes, I did. Okay, there we go. So now we can run a program, which means we can then turn. We can then send Kimu to a place we don't care about because we don't care about it anymore. And then we have this. Can I have this just close right away? What's a good way to do that? Quit after Q0? Nope. Timeout after 0 packets? Rip. Timeout 0? Hey! Hey! Perfect. Okay. Nice. Can we get a nice in chat? Can we get a nice in chat? Okay. So we have self-serve, which is our output. We'll send it over here. We'll edit this like this and this. Okay, and then we can go like this. And then up here, I can go into MIPS test. And then I have a make file. And then this make file will do an NC... what was it? NC... W01270015555. Okay, so now if we run make, this should build and run the program. Okay, so now I can go down here and I can say, now I can say moose. Okay, okay, and then, self-serve, blah, 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 serving bytes to this. We'll put a couple new lines in here. Maybe one of these bad boys. I love using those bad boys. Those are some good boys. Just a way of telling basically where the screen is. Cargo install path dot. Okay, MIPS test, felf serve. There we go. So now we got felf going. Okay, then we run make, and there we go. Woo! Is it necessary to have 2 TCP connections? Yes, because with this setup I can do this. I can do this. Yep. And then I can do this again. Right? That would be a bit of a problem if it was the same process. Although, I don't know if that was crashing. I think that is crashing. Yeah, it's definitely crashing. All right, there we go. That's great. That's great. Okay. Cargo watch. Make. Okay. What's changing? Oh, I have to exclude out.filth. I think. Where does it get it? Does it parse git ignore? It looks like it does. Okay, so now I can say moose2, save. Built, ran. There you go. This is now a proper dev environment. This is sick. Cargo watch source. It looks like it respects git ignore. It's definitely respecting git ignore. Because if I remove that, it loops forever. But if I add it, it respects it. Or cargo does or whatever. So that's the correct way to do it anyways. Fuck yeah! That's so cool! Okay, so now we have... If we just save the file, we literally... Saving the file literally... It just does everything. This is pretty dank. This is pretty dank. Okay, let's take a look at our source tree. Let's see if everything's good. So we got syscall, we got MIPS, and then this is not good. So, now we have a better dev than VS. Yup. My music stopped. There's so many things to listen to. There's already a better dev imp than modern VS on the NT. Yikes! Yikes! Using CMOOs? No, I'm using NC Spot. Yeah, let's listen to this. Okay. T-Swift Fearless? Let's be honest, Fearless is just objectively worse than the best album, which is Speak Now. Beep, boop, boop. Speak Now is a masterpiece. Okay, let's convert these to naked functions. Let's get naked, chat. This way we're not relying on undefined behavior. Chat moving so fast, no one will see that I'm an ASP.NET dev that uses VS. Yikes. Yikes. What does naked do? It basically ensures that nothing in the function exists except for the, It makes sure that nothing in the function exists except for the assembly. You have full control of everything. So, the way that we have to do this now, $2 is the ID. Let's go and find MIPS NT 4.0 calling convention. Paramore Riot album is 100% Bangerville. Yeah, Riot is fantastic. Honestly, even Eponymous and Brand New Eyes are also really good. Nothing figured out. Time. NC spot. NC spot. Much better until you need to get into container deep. Who uses containers? What are you, some fucking basic bitch? Remember that Friday 2:30 a.m. saying a lot of I had. I ran out crying and you followed me out into the streets. Oh, T Swift, my bae. For goodbyes, all I ever known. Basic bitches unite. Let's go. MIPS NT. MIPS NT. Old new thing. Yeah. Okay. So there's this fantastic blog on MIPS R4K support. Look at this shit. Hold on, Dick. Hold on. Never turn back. The stack is always aligned on an 8-byte boundary and there is no red zone. Register is marked yes, and the preserved columns must be preserved across the call. And let's see if this, let's see if SP and S8 registers used for their stated purpose throughout the entire function. So SP and S8. Okay, so they use a stack and a frame pointer. This blog is great, yeah. Yeah, Raymond Chen's one of the few like top computer programmers in the world. Like literally probably like top 20. Like it's insane. I keep forgetting how good your compressor is. Okay, that peaked. Sorry. Fuck! I had my gain up because the microphone was away. Sorry, now it's okay. Right? Test! It shouldn't be clipping? Hello? It's still clipping? Fuck. I think I have the settings turned up a bit more than they used to be. It's still clipping. I don't know if I'm clipping on the... I think I'm clipping on the mic. Fuck! There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think I had the mic gain up way higher than I usually have it. Fixed. Yep. Okay, so I can talk like... I should be able to talk pretty quiet, right? Talking pretty quiet. Pretty talk it. And then surprise... Fuck! Yeah? Yeah, was that fine? Was that fine? Was that fine? Also good. Okay, yeah, I had the gain up too high. Sorry. Sorry about that. Compressed as frick! Fuck! Yeah, compressors are pretty nice, aren't they? Okay, MIPS calling convention. My roommate's probably like, what? MIPS 3 manual. Jangles, you don't need an adult. You are. Oh, I was. You're not an adult. Ah. There we go. The MIPS R4K. This is literally what Windows was designed for, is the R4K. MIPS Technologies. $4K. Yeah, this is what we have open right now. Basically, what I'm trying to do is confirm that the generic R4000 calling convention should match the one that Windows is using. Okay, MMU. Oh, the R4K. Oh, it's so good. Instructions. Memory management. Exceptions. FPU. Signals. Clock interface. Wow, even the clocks are defined. Caches. System interface. Wow, this is a beautiful manual. What a beautiful manual. I like this guy's style of talking. Hell yeah, I like my style of talking too, until my voice hurts. Okay, so let's see. Optimizing compilers. Ooh. Benefits of RISC design. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, let's get in there. Gimme it. Gimme. Some benefits that result from the RISC design techniques are not directly attributable to the drive to increase performance, but are the result of a basic reduction in complexity. A simpler design allows both chip area resources and human resources to be applied to features that enhance performance. Some of these benefits are described below. Poggers, hell yeah, thank you so much for the 4-month fluffy poga. Hell yeah. Risk one love. It's in the back. This is me swallowing my pride, standing in front of you, saying I'm sorry for that night. Hello. Oh my, oh yeah. Oh, give me those PLLs. I'm not seeing calling convention. How does one become a top 20 programmer? Yeah, listen to Taylor Swift. Fishy Poos! Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Blub, blub, motherfucker! What is this PDF? This is this PDF. Bam! Wow, they have 11 of these? Summer of a beautiful night. Realize I love you. Okay, okay, that's just a spam. It's a fake thing. Sick. Okay. 5 gifted subs from Cross24. Holy shit. Oh, it's because of the T Swift singing. Red Dragon X1? Dodged like a pro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Cross24X. Woot, woot. Nim? Is that a Nim reference? There's also a Python emoji? There's a Python emoji? Oh, come on. Who does that? Who does a Python emoji? I made him mad. No. I respect Nim. It's not terrible. First time. Wow. He has there's a Super H one too? Oh my god. Windows CE for SH3? Oh shit, that's so cool. Chain is on your door. I don't understand. MIPS Pro 64-bit compiler. Number of argument registers 8. Ooh, shit. to December. Turns out freedom ain't nothing but missing you. If Raymond is in the top 20, who's your top 3? You can't. All the people in like the top 50 are basically the same, so you can't really judge them. Terry Davis, hell yeah. So, are they using O32? ILP32, MIPS, 16 FP regs, 4 argument regs. And that kind of matches what we're seeing, right? So it's documented here. We know for a fact that there are 4 arguments passed. And then I think this covers homing as well. Shouldn't be running the wrong way. I know he covers the home. MIPS R4000 home. How do I become top 0? By being noob. Didn't this cover homing on one of these? Which part? Search engines work great in 2021. They actually are kind of worse than they used to be, isn't it? MIPS 3. 32, double word. Won't see it because we're focusing on a 32-bit mode. Has 32 GPRs, blah, blah, blah. Requires that SPNS8. 32-bit code doesn't have this. Stack is always aligned, and there's no red zone. Lovely bride to be like a pageant queen. Atomics, LLSC, yep. Trampolines and stubs? No. Calling convention. Okay. Calling convention for NT is similar to other major MIPS calling conventions, but they're like snowflakes. Despite being made of the same underlying materials, no two are completely alike. The short version of the parameter passing is that the first 4 parameters are passed in A0 through A3. The remaining parameters go into the stack after a 16-byte gap, which is the home space for the regular register parameters. Oh, I got a hype train emote. Raymond is a hero. Yeah, Raymond Chen is fucking phenomenal. Things get weird when you mix 64-bit values or floating point. Okay, we're gonna ignore those. You load 16 bytes into A0 through A3, and the rest go onto the stack. However, if a parameter would normally be passed in A0 through A3 turns out to be a non-variadic floating point value, then it's stored in F12, F13 for the first floating point value, or F14, F15 for the second, and the corresponding integer register is left unused. Okay, so they gap them. Interesting. A0, A1, A2, A3, and then 10SP, and then F1, A1, double. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. Okay. Shut the back door. Okay. Didn't he just describe a red zone? A red zone is not the same as a homing area. Okay, so that's a pretty simple calling convention. I think this only differs. So, let's get Rust to output its calling convention. Rust C, print target spec JSON target MIPS LE unknown none Z unstable options. Okay. Mad, you gotta not spam. Yeah, you gotta maybe not spam. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is for. Yeah, like I don't understand what this is for. Mipsel. Yep, you're right. Data layout. I really need to learn how to read this. I really want to learn how to read this. This is something I need to know how to learn. So here's what I want to do. LVM data layout string. Well, anything in Doxygen is useless because anything in Doxygen is useless. Okay, here we go. Hyphens separate portions of the string. Okay. Okay. Okay, and uppercase E indicates big endian. Lowercase e means little endian. Okay, so this is a little endian system. Then we have another portion. So little endian. And what's an M? What's an M mean? Sick. Sick. M is undefined. So P is followed by pointer information. Okay, so this is pointer. ABI alignment, size. So this is a pointer. It's a 32-bit pointer, and it's 32-bit alignment. I8 is an 8-bit value, 32-bit alignment. 16 is 16, 32-bit alignment. 64 is 64. N32 is probably the calling convention. And S64. Yeah, it'd be really nice to see what data layout is. Oh, I love Doxygen. It's so useful. Oh, look at all this extremely useful information. Oh, so fucking useful. Wow, cool. Thanks, Doxygen, for being fucking useless. Oh, and that's useless too. Okay, nice. Sorry. Data layout string. Yeah, here we go. 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 Relax. Relax. Okay. Target. Data layout. Data layout specification. E little endian. Okay, so we got little endian. We got an M to M. M to M. M to M. Mangling. M MIPS mangling. Private symbols get a $$ prefix. Oh, so you can pick your mangling. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter because we're building everything, but whatever. So that you can define your mangling type. And then P This is the size of pointers. And then the ABI. The size of a pointer and its ABI. Pref is optional and defaults to ABI. What's ABI? Is that not the alignment? What? Average buy-in? ABI is the alignment? A blindment? Okay. Okay, I88. Those are all self-explanatory. Yep. The integer of a given bit size, 8, 16, 64. Okay, and then N32. N32. Specifies a set of native integer widths for the target CPU. So N32, okay, so that's basically defining the U size, I think. Right? I think that's defining U size. N32 colon 64 for 64. Okay, and then S64. And this is probably the maximum size. Oh, natural alignment of the stack. Nice. So that's the stack alignment. Okay. Specifies the natural alignment of the stack in bits. Sweet. Sweet. Okay. So that is awesome. So we know that the calling convention for MIPS is we know that it's 64-bit aligned, right? Okay, that's pretty cool. And then what calling convention is this using? Address space of alloc A, P, I, V, F. Alignment for an aggregate type. Alignment for function pointers. Yeah, so 32-bit aligned for all of these, which is kind of interesting. Default specs are this. Okay, so here's all the default specs. Okay, cool. Target triple. Environment. How do I define the ABI? How do I define the calling convention? Matches the target C calling conventions. Yeah, but how do I know what that is? How do I know what that is? When you wrote your first OS, were you pretty confident in what needed to be done, or did you struggle? I definitely struggled for a hot minute. But Dev Angels just told me what to do, so it was fine. It was easy. Arguments are on the stack. I mean, we don't know that for sure. I mean, we observe that, but we don't know if that's the case. Yeah. How the fuck do I know what calling convention it's using? Um... Calling conventions? Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. And I'm guessing it's really hard to say which one it's using, right? 032 is the most commonly used, okay. So we can just guess that that's that. It is strictly stack-based for A0 through A3 to pass arguments. Space on the stack is reserved in case the callee needs to save its arguments. Space on the stack is reserved in case the callee needs to save its arguments, but the registers are not stored there by the caller. The return value is in V0. Second return may be V1. Okay. So I'm guessing that's probably what it uses. Resembles N32 more. This is a 95 conference. Okay, so it's, yeah. Yeah, and I think that matches what they use. It differs, I think, for floating points. I think basically the only difference between these conventions is the, so there's homing space, and the homing space is reserved in case the callee needs to save its arguments. Now the question is, does it make home space for all of them? Because I'm pretty sure Raymond Chen, home. The remaining parameters go after a 16-byte gap. It's the home space. Even if it accepts fewer than 4 parameters, you still must provide 16 bytes of home space. Yeah, and I don't know if 032. So let's look at system VABL. Let's try and find the true source of this. This shit's like pretty important. Default C calling convention 032. Stack goes down. Subtract from SP to allocate local storage. Restore SP by adding. Stack must be 8-byte aligned. Modify SP only in multiples of 8. Function parameters. Every parameter smaller than 32 bits is promoted to 32 bits. First 4 parameters are pushed through A0 through A3. 64 are put through pairs. Little endian mode or big endian mode. Okay. Every subsequent parameter is passed on the stack. First 16 bytes on the stack are not used. Assuming SP, it's still not clear enough to me. First 16 bytes are not used. I still need to guarantee that MIPS 032. The caller reserves 16 bytes at the end of its stack frame for the callee to store its arguments, even if it takes fewer. Okay, so it is the same convention. All right, we're good. We're good. So we have the exact same calling convention for syscalls as we have. Okay, so all we have to do is we have to move the syscall parameter into V0. So V0 is going to get the syscall ID, and that's going to be V0, or A0, A1, A2. So this is A2, okay? Okay. Okay, chat. This time for sure. Go. So you have to mark naked functions no return. And then we're moving into V0 from A2. So V0 gets A2 because 0, 1, this is A2. So parameter A2 is the syscall ID, so we pass that in. Okay. All right, this time we're going to actually get this right. See this lip. Do you need to return in the assembly? Technically not for MIPS. Okay, one argument syscall. Okay, let's do this. Okay, this is A1. Let's make 0 argument syscall. We're just gonna go through the list, make all of them. We cannot use macros to define these, unfortunately. Okay, A0.